The museum and the Coeur d'Alene Public Library has been sponsoring my lectures on local history. We began the series this year about some of the old homes and their builders on East Sherman Avenue. Since the library is currently closed due to the virus issue, we have decided to do some mini versions of my lecture series on Facebook. Today's presentation is about William Dollar and his home at 816 Sherman Avenue. In 1900, the town of Coeur d'Alene, with a population of about 500, was struggling with the lingering effects of the 1893 Depression, a flood of 1894, and a closure of Fort Sherman in 1898. Also, the building of a railroad around the end of Lake Coeur d'Alene seriously reduced traffic from the city of Coeur d'Alene to the mining district. During the late 1890s, businesses were beginning to close. The citizens of Coeur d'Alene were beginning to have doubts about the future of their town. What they did not know was that a new and progressive era was about to begin. Forester John Lieberg, while working on the U.S. Geological Survey, gave a report that there were vast amounts of white pine in the Coeur d'Alene Mountains. That information became public in 1898. But the early 1900s, lumber companies in the Midwest and back east were sending agents to northern Idaho. Most of these lumbermen were experienced and had financial backing. William Dollar, a native of Ottawa, Canada, was one of the first experienced timber agents to take advantage of this timber boom that was occurring in northern Idaho during the early 1900s. He arrived in Coeur d'Alene in 1899 and immediately began purchasing timberland for the Robbins Timber Company in Rhinelander, Wisconsin. With financial backing from back east, Dollar formed the Coeur d'Alene Lumber Company on March 23, 1900. The company built a large sawmill near the base of Tubbs Hill and started operating on December 4, 1901. While the mill was under construction, Dollar could not but notice the rapid growth of the town. All kinds of businesses were already under construction, and several were in planning stages. He also noticed that in addition to all kinds of business, he also noticed there was something missing. The town did not have a bank. That was about to change. Within a year, Dollar had sold his interest in the Coeur d'Alene Lumber Company and bought a piece of property on the southwest corner of 4th and Sherman. He built a 2-story brick building and opened Coeur d'Alene's first successful bank, the Exchange National Bank. Today, that same building is the home of a business called The Vault. It's a restaurant. The old bank sign is still visible on the front of the building. William Dollar was a very successful businessman for many years. He was listed in the 1916 City Directory as president of the Exchange National Bank, president of the Panhandle Brewer Company, secretary-treasurer of Stack Gibbs Lumber Company along the Spokane River, plus president of the Kootenai Bank in St. Mary's. He was also a partner, along with Frederick Blackwell and Ambrose Betts, in financing and organizing the Coeur d'Alene-Spokane Electric Railroad, which ran from 1903 to 1940. In 1906, William Dollar married Christine Playfair, also a native of Canada, and a graduate of the University of Idaho. After an expensive honeymoon, They moved into their beautiful home at 816 Sherman Avenue. In 1917, the Dollars sold all their interest in Coeur d'Alene and moved to Vancouver, BC. The Dollar House was sold to Addison Crane, president of Exchange National Bank. He sold it to Oscar Edmonds, who lived there until 1960. In 1962, one of the most beautiful homes in Coeur d'Alene was diminished and replaced by the Coeur d'Alene Professional Center.